Rain beat softly against the windshield as the search team's headlights cut through the darkness of an empty Orlando street. The clock read 4 a.m., 40 hours since Jennifer Kesse vanished. Then, suddenly, an officer's voice cracked through the radio. "We found her car." The words sent a chill through the search team. For 2 days, Jennifer's friends and family had clung to hope that she was just delayed, maybe visiting someone, maybe safe somewhere. But now, her silver Chevy Malibu sat abandoned in a rundown apartment complex less than a mile from her home. The driver's seat was pushed back, farther than Jennifer would ever set it. When detectives arrived, they noticed something even more unnerving. A security camera above the complex's pool area had captured a person walking away from the car. The figure's head was tilted down, face hidden, and by pure, cruel chance, each frame was blocked by a metal fence post. In one shot, you could see their arm swing. In another, their foot step off the curb, but their face never once visible. The footage felt almost supernatural, as if someone or something didn't want them identified. Jennifer's father, Drew Kesse, stood near the crime scene tape, his face pale. He stared at the car like it might suddenly open and give back his daughter. The doors were locked. Inside were her work files, a pair of shoes, and faint traces of her perfume. No signs of struggle, no fingerprints that could tell a story. The police towed the vehicle away as news crews began circling the area, their cameras flashing through the early morning mist. The reporter spoke in hushed tones. A young woman has disappeared under mysterious circumstances. That same morning, Jennifer's mother, Joyce, watched the footage on repeat, tears in her eyes. "It's like the world erased her," she whispered. No one knew then, not the family, not the police, not even the community that would soon rally around her, that this would become one of Florida's most haunting, unsolved cases. But let's rewind to the moments before Jennifer vanished, when everything still seemed perfect. It was Monday, January 23rd, 2006. Jennifer had just returned from a trip to St. Croix with her boyfriend, Rob Allen. The sun was bright, the air warm, and she was rested, smiling, ready to return to her routine. She called Rob that night around 10 p.m., told him she loved him, and they said goodnight. She was set to drive to work early the next morning. The next day, she never arrived. Calls from coworkers went unanswered. Her phone went straight to voicemail. Rob tried calling, assuming she'd overslept, but something didn't feel right. Jennifer wasn't careless. She was the kind of person who set out her clothes the night before, kept her planner neat, and double-checked every appointment. By that evening, panic spread through her circle. Her parents drove 2 hours from Tampa, hearts racing, praying they were overreacting. When they unlocked her condo door, it felt like stepping into a paused moment in time. Her bed was made. Her towel was damp. Her makeup and hairdryer still sat on the counter. Her phone charger was plugged in, empty. It looked as though she had just walked out the door and never came back. Detectives believe she was taken sometime between 7:30 and 8 a.m., right after she left home. But the big question was by who? Neighbors reported seeing nothing unusual that morning. One resident mentioned a white van parked near her building, a detail that would later send chills down everyone's spine. Jennifer had told her family that construction workers often made her uncomfortable, that she felt watched when she walked from her car to her condo. Could one of them have followed her that morning? Investigators canvassed the complex, questioned every worker, and ran background checks. Nothing stuck. 2 days later, when Jennifer's car turned up, the puzzle deepened. The interior showed no fingerprints except one partial print that matched no one in the system. And then came that eerie surveillance footage, the faceless figure walking away seconds after parking her car. The footage ended with the person disappearing into a tree line. No one ever saw where they went next. As the days turned to weeks, Jennifer's face began appearing on every local newscast. Her parents handed out flyers, stood on street corners, pleaded for information. hundreds joined the search. Yet not a single solid lead emerged. Still, the Orlando police insisted it wasn't foul play. "She could have left on her own," one detective suggested, a comment that infuriated the Kesse family. They knew Jennifer. She didn't just leave. The community's hope dimmed as time passed, but something inside Drew Kesse refused to stop. One night, sitting in his car outside Jennifer's condo, he whispered to himself, "Someone here knows what happened." And he was right. Because somewhere, hidden in plain sight, was the person who parked that car, the person who watched Jennifer that morning, and the person who knew exactly how she disappeared. What happened between the moment she left her condo and the time that car was parked remains the darkest question in Orlando's history. The next part of the story reveals just how close the Kesse family came to uncovering the truth and the chilling evidence that was ignored.
The weeks following Jennifer Kesse's disappearance were a blur of phone calls, missing persons posters, and sleepless nights for her family. Orlando was a city that prided itself on safety, yet here was a young woman who had simply vanished without a trace. Every lead the police followed seemed to dead end, and every tip brought a new wave of frustration. But one detail kept gnawing at investigators and the Kesse family alike: the surveillance footage of Jennifer's car and the shadowy figure walking away. Private investigators were brought in, scouring the area for any overlooked clues. They retraced Jennifer's steps from the morning she disappeared, interviewing neighbors, apartment workers, and anyone who might have seen something unusual. Some residents recalled seeing a man in a hooded jacket near her car, lingering a little too long, but no one could provide a clear description. Every sighting was vague, fleeting, almost like the city itself was erasing evidence. Meanwhile, Jennifer's parents became her voice in the media, holding press conferences and appealing directly to the public. "We just want our daughter back," Joyce Kesse pleaded, her voice breaking. "We want someone to come forward with the truth, anything that can help us find her." Their story resonated nationally, inspiring volunteers to search abandoned lots, parks, and alleys. Yet, even as the community rallied, frustration mounted over the slow pace of the official investigation. Amid the chaos, Rob Allen, Jennifer's boyfriend, tried to maintain composure while dealing with grief and uncertainty. He recalled the last time he spoke with her, that January evening when she called from St. Croix. He replayed their conversation repeatedly in his mind, searching for a clue he might have missed. There were no signs, no arguments, no threats, just a woman planning to return to her routine, now swallowed by the unknown. Detectives combed through Jennifer's phone records, tracking every call and text. One pattern emerged: a few calls to unknown numbers in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Investigators attempted to trace them, but each connection led to dead ends: payphones, disconnected lines, or individuals with no ties to Jennifer. It was a frustrating game of shadows, every answer spawning more questions. As the investigation dragged into February, the case began to attract a darker kind of attention. The local news covered the story extensively, which led to multiple tips from across the country, some promising, most not. Among them, one tip mentioned a white van seen frequently near Jennifer's condo. This vehicle had been parked suspiciously in the mornings, sometimes when Jennifer was leaving for work. The police investigated and confirmed the van belonged to a contractor working nearby, but the connection to Jennifer remained unclear. Was it coincidence, or had someone exploited the van to observe her movements?
The forensic team examined her condo meticulously. Every surface, every drawer, every corner was scanned for DNA, fingerprints, or any sign of struggle. Surprisingly, almost nothing was found, except the faint trace of Jennifer's perfume and one partial fingerprint on her bathroom counter that didn't match anyone in the system. The absence of evidence was unsettling. It suggested either a carefully planned abduction or someone familiar with Jennifer's routines. Days stretched into months. The Kesse family never stopped searching. They held vigils in her memory, canvassed the neighborhood, and even hired psychics, though nothing came of it. Jennifer's disappearance had become a puzzle that confounded even seasoned investigators. Then, nearly a month later, a breakthrough of sorts arrived. A neighbor reported seeing someone carrying a large object late at night near the apartment complex where Jennifer's car was found. Police raced to the location, but the trail had gone cold. The person was gone, the object missing, leaving nothing but a lingering sense of dread. Despite the frustration and dead ends, there was a growing suspicion among investigators. Jennifer hadn't run away, and this wasn't random. Someone had targeted her, someone who knew exactly how to vanish without a trace. And every clue, every shadowy figure in the security camera frame hinted that the key to solving the mystery was just out of reach. For the Kesse family, hope and despair existed in a fragile balance. Each new lead, no matter how faint, reignited the desire to find Jennifer. Yet each setback reminded them of the terrifying reality. The longer she remained missing, the colder the trail became. Then came a chilling revelation, a detail that no one had considered during the initial investigation. It was subtle, almost innocuous, but it suggested someone had tampered with surveillance equipment around Jennifer's condo. A camera that should have captured the hallway where she walked to her car had been mysteriously disabled for hours that morning. Who would do such a thing, and why? The discovery reignited investigators' determination. They intensified efforts, scouring every digital footprint Jennifer left behind, revisiting witnesses, and reanalyzing surveillance footage. Every minute detail was scrutinized, yet the most crucial moments, the seconds when Jennifer left her condo and entered the path that would lead to her disappearance, remained shrouded in mystery. And just when the trail seemed impossibly cold, a late-night tip arrived. Someone claiming to know exactly who parked Jennifer's car and why it was left abandoned. It was a lead that could finally unravel the truth, or it could lead to another dead end. But for the first time since January 24, 2006, a sliver of hope appeared, a possibility that the shadows hiding Jennifer's fate might finally be pierced. What this tip revealed would shock her family, investigators, and the city of Orlando, exposing a chilling truth that no one could have anticipated.
The tip that arrived late one night carried an intensity that sent shivers down the spines of everyone in the Orlando Police Department. A caller claimed to know who had been following Jennifer, who had parked her car, and who had orchestrated the moments that led to her vanishing. Investigators treated it cautiously, aware that the truth could be tangled in exaggeration or false bravado. But something in the voice over the phone, desperate yet precise, suggested it was credible. Immediately, the detectives revisited the apartment complex where Jennifer's Chevy Malibu had been found. Every camera, every shadow, every footprint was scrutinized again. Forensic teams ran the security footage frame by frame, searching for anomalies that might have gone unnoticed the first time. And then it hit them. A subtle reflection in a window that had been missed before. In that brief, fleeting image, the outline of a man could be seen. His movements were deliberate, calculated, almost cold in their precision. The investigators now had their first solid lead. They cross-referenced the person's height, gait, and clothing with employees and residents around the complex. Nothing matched. No background checks, no previous records, no fingerprints in the system. It was as if this person had vanished as completely as Jennifer herself. Meanwhile, the Kesse family continued to hold vigils. Hope and despair intertwined with every passing day, every unanswered question. Jennifer's parents had transformed their grief into action, attending town hall meetings, contacting state officials, and speaking to local media to keep her case alive. The story had become a symbol of both a family's unyielding search for truth and the city's failure to prevent such a disappearance.
As weeks turned into months, detectives expanded their investigation to the surrounding neighborhoods, contacting anyone who had lived in or near the area during the time Jennifer disappeared. They explored every angle: potential stalkers, construction workers, distant acquaintances, and ran DNA checks on all evidence recovered from Jennifer's condo and car. Every lead came back empty, and the sense of frustration grew heavier with each day. Then a breakthrough arrived through digital forensics. Old phone records, long overlooked, revealed that Jennifer had made contact with an unknown number repeatedly in the days leading up to her disappearance. The investigators traced the number to a prepaid phone, which could not be linked to any specific individual. However, patterns in call times and locations suggested someone had been actively observing her, following her movements, and planning her disappearance meticulously.
The chilling realization settled over the team. Jennifer had likely been targeted, stalked, and abducted by someone who knew her schedule intimately. Every careful step she had taken to live her life safely, her attention to routine, her cautious interactions with strangers, had been outsmarted. Despite the growing evidence, Jennifer's physical trail remained cold. There was no body, no ransom note, and no definitive proof of what had become of her. The mystery deepened with every passing day, but the Kesse family refused to give up. Their determination became the driving force behind renewed investigations, advocacy campaigns, and persistent media coverage. Then came a shocking revelation. A witness from a nearby apartment building came forward, claiming they had seen Jennifer the morning of her disappearance, not in her usual clothing, but seemingly being led toward a vehicle by someone she might have known. The witness's description was vague, but it provided a critical piece of the puzzle. Jennifer's abduction had not been random, it had been personal. The Orlando police reopened the investigation multiple times over the years, each attempt revealing inconsistencies in previous reports and mishandled evidence. Every lead brought new questions. Why was surveillance tampered with? Who was responsible for her disappearance? And most haunting of all, was Jennifer still alive somewhere, or had the city permanently lost her? To this day, the case remains unsolved, leaving an open wound in the hearts of her family and in the Orlando community. Jennifer Kesse's story serves as a haunting reminder of how quickly life can vanish and how relentless determination can keep hope alive even when the shadows of uncertainty stretch endlessly. Her parents continued to fight for justice, keeping Jennifer's story alive through social media campaigns, interviews, and community outreach. Each year, the anniversary of her disappearance reignites the search, reminding everyone that a daughter, a friend, a woman vanished, but never forgotten. And while the identity of the person responsible remains a mystery, the chilling fact remains: someone out there knows the truth. Someone out there saw Jennifer that morning, and the answers to her disappearance have been hidden in plain sight for nearly 2 decades. The question that lingers for everyone watching the story is the same one her family asks every day. Where is Jennifer Kesse, and will the person who took her ever be brought to justice?